Sometimes we feel like we are lonely and have no one to talk to. It's all relative. Who is definitely lonely is our hero who was sent into space, and that he did not go crazy. Together with him sent a robot, with which the astronaut actively spends time on the spaceship, trying to teach the robot feelings and make him a human. Suddenly everything goes wrong, and the hero goes to extreme measures not to stay in space all alone. This is Mr. Narrator. What happened to our heroes and what led to the experiment of close relations between man and artificial intelligence, you will learn in this story. Enjoy the movie. At the beginning of the film, we see Milyutin talking about his longest flight. He talks about how he's been to Mars. His next flight will be to Alpha Centauri. The social engineer informs that he will not be alone on this flight. The hero will be accompanied by a female cyborg named Nimani. The engineer tells the man about the peculiarities of Nimani. Milyutin wants to independently choose a shell for the cyborg. However, the social engineer learnt about all his desires during their conversation. The woman set the parameters for creating Nimani according to the hero's preferences. Milyutin came aboard the Ederlisi spaceship. The artificial intelligence tells the man about the upcoming flight. In the next chair sits Nimani. The hero's ship went into outer space. During the flight, Nimani's parameters were downloaded. Milyutin chose the close mode. In his report, the man says that he activated it against his will. The robot's behavior is unnatural because her programming is just a list of programs. The cyborg does not argue or refuse the man. The hero finds it difficult to build a natural relationship without these functions. Later, the cyborg and the astronaut talk about relationships the man has had in his life. The women he became intimately acquainted with hurt the hero. Milyutin didn't want to listen to advice from the android. He spends his time hovering in the corridor. Nimani walks around the ship. Her memory is unloading information about how often and for what purpose the robot is used by Milyutin. Most often he uses Nimani to relax. When the man selects home mode, the cyborg begins to dance. The hero watches the girl's movements. After the dance, she sits down with the man. They discuss her dance. Milyutin wants to kiss her. However, in this mode, Nimani refuses him. The hero likes this. He decides to insist on his own. Eventually, he releases the tension the way he wants to. In the next scene, the cyborg is charging in a special unit. A man is watching Nimani. When the hero has fallen asleep, Nimani watches him. The social engineer read the data of the last intimacy with the cyborg. Milyutin contacted the flight control center. Nimani was asked for an assessment of the astronaut's condition. This caused surprise on the man's part. He felt that the robot was necessary for his socialization. The cyborg gave a report on the hero's actions and psychological state. The communication window closed. The artificial intelligence explained to the man why the robot was empowered to follow him. It turned out that the cyborg was an advanced version that was learning from the user. Milyutin wanted to erase some of the data in Nimani's memory. But this is impossible because only the specialist at Ederlisi can do it. After that, the man switches on Nimani. The characters chat about space cuisine. Milyutin flirts with the robot. Sometime later, a routine repair is carried out in a spaceship. An astronaut goes into outer space. Nimani warns him about the radiation level. The robot says that he misses and asks the hero to return to the ship. The couple is actively spending time in bed. Nimani winks at the human. When the astronaut sleeps, the robot enjoys weightlessness. The man is engaged in a routine check of the machinery. Nimani tells him about how it stinks. The hero is surprised. The robot has never spoken to him that tone of voice. He tries to change the program, but it doesn't help. The couple does it on a chair at the ship's control panel. Afterwards, the cyborg goes back to charging. Milyutin learns from the voice assistant that he can disconnect Nimani from the programs. The man wants the robot to become more human. He believes that by disabling the programs, Nimani will function according to the type he created during their communication. The artificial intelligence advises the hero to get counseling on the psychology query in the robot's knowledge base. Milyutin does just that. He tells about the fact that he and the robot had a quarrel. The man believes that this is a consequence of his influence. He sees her as more human because of her ability to argue and quarrel with him. Milyutin believes that the robot has gained character. During the counseling process, the hero wants to get closer to Nimani. He thinks the robot wants that too. Milyutin offers to show the cyborg that she shares his desires. Nimani kisses the man. On the day of the cyborg's test, a glitch occurs. Nimani's processor overheats. The man is thrown out of the facility. The system was about to eliminate the threat. However, everything was resolved safely. Milutin was afraid that he would lose his girlfriend. After the reboot, the heroes relieve the tension. They actively spend time in the cabin. Later, Nimani recharges and rests. Milutin tries to gain access rights to the robot's operating system. The artificial intelligence informs the astronaut that he is not allowed to use root privileges during this mission. The man is not pleased. We see Milutin and Nimani spending time alone together. Apparently, these are the cyborg's memories. While charging, suspicious activity is detected in the robot. An error report is sent to the company. The hero created a short circuit on the ship. He wanted to provoke the artificial intelligence to grant him root privileges. The pilot activated manual control. The ship went off course. To regain course, Milutin was given root rights. The ship's gravity was restored. The man walked over to the stall where Nimani was charging. He stroked the girl's cheek. Accessing the software, the hero uninstalled it. He agreed to all the warnings. When the cyborg rebooted, Nimani opened her eyes. Milutin asked if she felt free after removing the software. However, the robot felt no emotion. She reminded him of the copyrights, which are the property of Ederlisi. Milutin hesitated for a moment. The robot walked past the man. In the next scene, Nimani is lying on a bed. Something is happening to her. After a while, the robot wants to send a report about the pilot's tampering with her system. Milutin approaches her from the back. The man says he loves her. Nimani explains that the pilot has endangered the mission. She rejects the man. Milutin can't believe it. He touches the robot. The girl throws him back a few meters. She warns the hero that now there can be no contact between them. The man watches as the robot charges. He is upset by the cyborg's words and actions. In the next scene, Nimani reminds the hero that he needs to study. He has unique talents that will help him complete the mission safely. Milutin is angry. He believes that the girl is punishing him. The hero thinks he turned her into a human when he deleted the software. However, Nimani tells him that he made a mess of things by deleting important elements in her system. 6 months have passed. The pilot contacted the social engineer through a dialogue box. Management informed him that the mission was in jeopardy. The man's actions were wrong. To make things right, he has Nimani. The man says that the cyborg is harming his emotional state. He talks about disabling the software. The social engineer is surprised. They don't have an action protocol for such a case. Milutin complains about Nimani's actions. He says he has made her a personality. The social engineer requested a conversation with the robot. Nimani provides the information she has stored in her cache. The robot says that the hero is capable of completing the mission. Nimani works in accordance with the purpose of the mission. Milutin is going through a crisis. He is trying to deal with unrequited feelings for the robot. Nimani watches the man. When the hero is asleep, the robot performs a diagnosis of his physical condition. It answers the artificial intelligence's questions. The program advises to seek help, as Milutin's basic needs are not met. Nimani looks out into space through the hatch. The ship is approaching a star. Milutin records a message for the cyborg creators. Later, the heroes lie on the floor. Nimani offers the man a chance to talk, but he is still angry at her for denying her intimacy. The robot says that she didn't mean to hurt the hero. She explains to him the reason behind her actions. Also suggests the man switch it off if it poses a threat to his. Nimani is going to communicate with the computer. She talks about being the cause of the hero's self-destruction. The only way out to stabilize the pilot's condition is to destroy the irritant. However, Nimani does not have a self-destruct protocol built in. She tries to find another way to solve the problem. The hero wakes up. Nimani informed him of her solution. Milutin became angry. It made him angry that the robot was trying to cry, even though she wasn't actually regretting anything. Nimani's system overloaded. The robot shut down. The pilot asked the artificial intelligence to check the safety of the ship and Nimani's condition. The computer reported that the cyborg's battery was damaged. The tears the man saw were a manifestation of a breakdown in the system. The hero realized that this was the first time the robot had shown feelings. He wants to fix what happened to Nimani. To recharge her battery, Milutin agrees to sacrifice his own safety. The computer created an air plume. The pilot went into outer space to charge the cyborg's battery from the solar panel. A few minutes later, Milyutin was notified that the suit was overheating. The man stayed behind to charge the battery. He thought back to the girl. When the battery was fully charged, the hero hurried back to the ship. At the last moment, he managed to put the battery in the cyborg. In the final scene, Yamane woke up. She saw that Milyutin was lying next to her. The girl kissed the hero. Write in the comments, would you like to try to build a relationship with a robot? Do you think a cyborg could have feelings without programs? It was the 2018 film AI Rising. See you in the next retellings.